Creeping through the old ruin, the refreshing smell of moss and morning dew does little to ease the building anxiety. Except not for this new druid that's tagged along. Nothing adds an extra skip to their step quite like a fresh morning, it seems, all confidence and positivity. It's almost sickening. Warnings to them that these ruins never quite appear as they seem have just been met with patronizing platitudes like, "Not every child of nature can navigate the wilds," or "You've just a keen eye for the sharp angles of a city and not the twisted shapes of a forest," or "You care too much about what cares so little for you in return. You'll be as defeated as these ruins. That which was structured and specific is always overtaken by the power of nature." That last one wasn't even applicable to the concerns you would raise to the druid, and it annoys you most of all. And that's probably because it's more true than you'd care to admit. After some delicate trekking through rough terrain, keeping your footing and keeping quiet is exhausting, though the druid seems to respond otherwise, another infuriating character trait. How can someone be so unfazed by anything? Well, just wait until they see, and there it is. A massive hole in the ground where one ought not be. Right in the middle of the forest ruin, 50 feet wide and deep, and above it, floating in the air, unreachable by any mundane means, is your prize. A light that shines so bright you have to shade your eyes. And the druid does indeed pause in awe at the sight of this, and you have a brief moment of satisfaction at the sight. But then they smugly smile and nod, and in the blink of your watery eyes they are a bird, flying up and toward the object. A priceless jewel, some legends say, holding a small piece of the dawnflower's divinity, trapped for untold eons. Another myth tells of its mysterious role in the fall to demigodhood for the shining scourge. What you hope most, however, is the storied claims that this is the garnet brand itself, the prison of the lambent king. As the soaring bird meanders casually, you can't help but feel more annoyance. They may be a bird now, but that cocky attitude still exudes forth, and you have to catch a laugh in your throat, a cackle really, a guffaw, as the druid slams into a wall that simply isn't there, like one giant stubbed toe. They fall fluttering in a panic toward the hole below, and your heart skips a beat. Because in the air, in that light, something moves. You see what is impossibly, unmistakably, a mane of white hair flowing within the light, and the light sinks casually down, closer to you, as your mind is filled with a discordant, psychic inferno and blackness. No light, no mane of hair, no druid and no ruins. Just the smell of refreshing moss and morning dew.
Hey there, creatures, and welcome to Encounter This, a podcast exploration of the creatures from Pathfinder 2nd Edition and the lore that surrounds them. Live. Hello there, creatures, and welcome to another episode of Encounter This. My name is James, the dedicated scholar kid, and with me, as always, is Freeman, the needlessly violent Easton, which I'm sure is a nickname that goes all the way back to his childhood.
Absolutely.
Today we're going to be looking at The Shining Child, found on the Bestiary 1, page 292. You got a couple of source books here, Freeman, but they all seem to be 1E. Care to explain yourself?
Yes. And if you speak to me like that again, I will become needlessly violent.
We should.
Yeah, I mean, they're just in Bestiary 1 for 2e so far, but they do make a 1e appearance, and they've shown up in a couple of books. One of them is the final core
We just
book.
lost your camera.
Ah, damn it. Son of a bitch.
This episode is just rife with technical difficulties. There we go. You're back.
Okay. Shall I continue?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. I have a
This
feeling
isn't
it's
a
going to happen
professional
again.
show.
Yeah, what is the final core book for 1e, which is called Planar Adventures. They also make an appearance, spoilers, in one of the books in Rise of the Rune Lords, and in a campaign setting called Lost Kingdoms, all from 1e.
I'm familiar with most of those books.
Mm-hmm. So I've yet to see any content really that they've been shown in, but I'm sure we'll get some at some point.
Right.
Given the shows we listen to. But just quick fun fact, too, before we get into this, is that if you just Google Shining Child without Pathfinder or 2e attached to it, you get the picture of the child from the movie The Shining. I was very confused.
And probably thrown on a watch list somewhere.
Yeah, pretty much. We get that a lot.
Yes, we do. Okay, well,
so-
let's jump into some game lore.
Yeah, so we're going to start with actually talking about the astral plane and what is known as the Great Beyond. So we're not going to touch on the creature just yet. So the Great Beyond is a term that encompasses all planes of existence across the multiverse, as it were. And this is divided into the outer sphere and the inner sphere. The outer sphere holds the alignment-based planes, which we'll probably see some major changes to in the upcoming remaster. And those include like the neutral planes, such as Axis, the Boneyard, the Maelstrom, the lower planes, which are Abaddon, the Abyss, Hell, the upper planes, Elysium, Heaven, and Nirvana. Now, the inner sphere holds all the other planes, which, of course, is including the material plane. We have the elemental planes of air, water, fire, and earth. And we also have upcoming, as of this recording anyway, the metal and wood planes in the Rage of Elements book. And there's also energy planes, the positive, negative, and the transitive planes, ethereal, shadow, first world, and the astral plane. So the astral plane is the one we kind of need to focus on here.
Okay. And those are, by transitive planes, you mean they kind of connect everything? Is that how we're supposed to?
That's kind of the idea, I think. Yeah. So transitive planes connect planes or worlds, and the astral plane in particular actually takes up space between the inner and outer spheres, and all around the other planes. So it's sort of the space between, in a way. It also holds the countless branches of the river of souls that lead to the outer sphere. So most inhabitants or natives to the astral plane actually give the river of souls a wide berth, though it's actually not sure. No one's really quite sure why. Could be their own choice. Could be the will of deities or even laws of the multiverse that stop them from going near it. And it's even speculated that some of these creatures, these inhabitants of the astral plane, can't even see the river at all. But the astral plane and the river is basically a silvery haze, and the inner sphere itself ends before the astral plane at the outer edge of the plane of fire. So that plane causes the astral plane to boil and churn with storms and eddies, as does the maelstrom, which surrounds the planes of the outer sphere. So that kind of the opposite version on the outer sphere. The churning combined with the traveling souls along the river and through the astral plane produces two well-known things: simulacra of the dead and demiplanes. And this is where the Shining Child comes in. All of this kind of leads up to this. These spontaneous creations of demiplanes create sparks of living light that sometimes get shorn off from the creation in the process. And for unknown reasons, these pieces of pure planar energy sometimes transform into a shining child.
There's your
long-winded origin story.
There's a lot to unpack there. So they're just pure beings of pure energy.
Yeah. As far as creature types go, as you might call them, this is the first time we've ever covered this, what this would be, and it's that they are purely an astral creature. They're not
Oh,
connected.
yep. So let's take it to an image of the shining child, just to help cover.
Stop looking at me. Look at that.
There we go.
So yeah, these creatures are astral only, and they have this really weird dichotomy to their existence, which we'll get into. But yeah, they basically just are spontaneously formed from these demiplanes being produced. And each one of these shining children are imprinted differently by the plane that created it, giving them a semblance of a unique identity. But it also connects them to each other in a way. They're able basically to recognize siblings that were created from the same spontaneous demiplane, and they can detect each other, these sort of siblings, via telepathy. Although I don't mind saying that this was not well worded or explained in the 2E description at all. It kind of just said they have a unique identity and can detect each other. But then when I dug further, there was a few things that I kind of connected. It was like, oh, it seems like the siblings are the result of the same demiplane, not just any old shining child. So it was a little bit all over the place.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So these demiplanes they're just so I'm clear, because we just blew by a whole lot of like dense information.
Yeah.
So they're created due to the roiling of the connection of the plane of fire and the astral plane. So essentially, like bubbles in, if you boil water, the bubbles that come off it, that would essentially be a demiplane. Are these fragile, or are they impermanent? Are they like permanents?
Like the demiplanes?
Do we have that information? Yeah.
I don't know, to be honest, off the top of my head. I think they just are. My head canon tells me that they're kind of like they're all of the above. They could be created and destroyed in the same instance, or they could persist for a long time. I know they're demiplanes are sometimes used as havens for very powerful wizards, I'm sure, stuff like that, and they probably maintain them with their own magic, but I think they're probably just all over the place.
Okay, I meant these demiplanes specifically,
that create shining children.
Because there are demiplanes all over the place, but the ones created from the sea or the fire plane meeting the astral plane,
right? So
it would make sense to me that they're not permanent, actually.
Well, what I can say is that not every one of these actually creates a shining child either. So that doesn't answer your question, but to me, it just makes it that much more vague. Maybe not everyone that's spontaneously created by this sort of combustion or this physical interaction creates a shining child, but sometimes they can create like dozens, I believe. I have it somewhere in my notes here, or like none at all. So it's really quite random. And yeah, I'm with you. It feels like a very temporary thing. These instances happening, and then probably disappearing again.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not opposed to it. I like open-ended and like ethereal lore like that. So I was just curious as to if we found anything.
Yeah.
But we've had this image up a while for our YouTube viewers. Should we describe it for audio listeners?
Yeah, let's do it. Well, I have one quick note before I do, just on like this sort of sense of individuality that they kind of have. They do have this sort of unique idea or unique thing where they confuse others because they refuse to use individual names despite having some sort of identity. Instead, they switch to referring to each other singularly or collectively. So effectively using they them pronouns, sort of, because they have this very loose identity connection with each other and the self. But at least that's how I interpreted it. But yeah, like description wise, as the viewers can see, they are very gaunt. They have long white floating hair. It's quite the mane, in fact, and they have 4-fingered hands. They're much bigger than you might think. Like this 2E artwork kind of, to me, makes it look a little bit small, but there's no point of reference. But they are a sizable creature, and they're very humanoid ish, as far as being bipedal with arms goes. They basically they're barely visible, at all, because they emit an intense light at all times, and basically where eyes would be, they just have these large sockets, and their mouth like stretches out wide, and inside it's just
Yeah, this image is really quite unnerving, actually. Like the whole image is done in these cool colors, and it's this gaunt, like you said, figure with this ethereal floating hair, and its arms are way too long for its body, but the only warm colors in the image are like emanating from its eyes, and like this ovular mouth, but the oval of the mouth is vertical, not horizontal, like you would think it is. Like it's quite unnerving.
Yeah. So it just had like, it has this like really long kind of dropping jaw kind of thing to it. So yeah, almost, yeah. The unnatural light within them, however, is quite natural to them. It's kind of an odd way of describing it. And they can actually use it to create illusions and weaponize it in like brilliant fiery light, as it's described. So their nature.
These aliens shoot mouth laser beams.
Yeah, exactly. That's great.
Cool.
Their nature, however, is sort of a conflicted one, as I touched on a little bit earlier. They act in a way that is befitting to someone trying to understand their role in the multiverse, and trying to understand why they were suddenly birthed at all. So like they just boom are pop into existence as they are, and it's very, very confusing for them. So, and this is like basically considered to be futile as well, though they may not know it. And it basically causes them to obsess about two conflicting things: an intense dedication to scholarship and knowledge gathering, and pure and unadulterated violence. They just need to destroy and also collect and store everything.
Kind of reminiscent of Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, sure.
Well, the search for the meaning of life is the undercurrent of that story, right? Like, what? Like its main driving question is, why do I exist? And the answer is, unfortunately, because you can.
Yeah, that's that, which is not very comforting, I'm sure, in the end.
No, I imagine that's not comforting, or a satisfying answer to that question. Not that any of us could claim our the reason for our existence to be any different, other than because we do.
I exist for this podcast. Encounter me.
Once we get to $1,000 on Patreon, that's what this show becomes. The streamer just running it by himself.
Oh no, that's bad. So these creatures, as you can imagine, have a bit of a reputation among scholars and the Eldritch in particular, and basically powerful wizards and occultists who find knowledge, sometimes attempt to the knowledge about these creatures, try to summon them in order to acquire whatever rare knowledge they have, and but the price of doing such a thing is usually well, see, the Shining Child doesn't want to give any information away for free, so they can summon them in, but like usually there's this cost, and it's usually some sort of random contemptible deed, as it's described, and that but that deed will also sort of help the Shining Child's strange, far-reaching plans of some such. But usually have to dip your toes into something pretty awful.
Ambition.
Yeah, they do to some capacity, but certainly too alien for us to understand, I would imagine.
Right. That adds a level of complexity that I enjoy. Otherwise, I was very concerned that these were going to be kind of dull, mindless creatures, just roaming for purpose.
No, they definitely have some plans in motion. In fact, here's another little bit you'll like, because I know you're a fan of Old Thassalon.
And New Thassalon.
And New Thassalon. Sure, old and new. Take them as it were. So it was actually a popular practice to conjure and bind shining children to serve as guardians for important locations, and That's why some in the sort of more current Galarian timeline can actually be found in old ruins, guarding lore and treasure from like thousands of years ago.
That
because
makes
old
all the
Thassalon
sense in the world.
had some crazy magic.
Well, not only crazy magic, but crazy knowledge, right? Like they were a very like they're a wizard society, so they were essentially bound to the concept of getting knowledge, whether it be through devious means or through like traditional research. So their motives and their ambitions would line up pretty well with spoilers, the Rune Lords and the Rune Lord underlings. So.
The question is, though, could they fix my webcam issues? Because we don't know what they are.
Okay. I would imagine it'd be solved the same way we solve most tech problems.
We tried turning off and on again.
Yeah. But it's fine.
It's fine. Just every time it blinks out, put a little goofy picture of me up there or something.
Oh my god.
How's that for editing jobs?
Because I don't do enough work.
Well, let's talk about some 1E stuff. We have a picture from 1E as well. If you want to take a look at that. This one actually does look larger.
This one looks horrifying. Like it looks like it's
really
pockmarked with burning ashes and stuff. Like it
I love that they're the same but different. It just goes to show you how different an art style can really evoke a different effect.
Yeah.
Like I think the 2E one is creepy as all hell, but this one looks terrifying.
This one looks like it's just malice incarnate.
Yeah.
Like, this is gonna mess your day up. The 2E one is kind of like it's almost Fey-like, you know? Like it's
to me, the 2E one like makes me want to ask questions about it, and then the 1E one makes me not want to stick around long enough to ask any questions.
yeah, I agree.
It's just like, I gotta go. It's not okay. Yeah,
no thanks.
I have the questions. I'm just not sticking around.
Right.
So we'll start with a weird one from the 1E stuff because for some reason it mentioned they have prehensile tails, and I don't see that in either artwork at all. So, and it's not in their stat blocks in either edition. So that's that. Take it or leave it. Maybe they have prehensile hair. Go for it. The shapes of their heads are apparently varied, but a skull-shaped head was documented. I don't know. This is
so they probably have a skull, and they've done some like Galarian phrenology on it. Is probably what happened.
Basically, yeah. So some have speculated that this is an example of sexual dimorphism or an indication of different life stages, given that they basically know there are different shapes, like a wide variety of different head shapes and skull shapes for these creatures. Whatever.
Right. I guess genetic divergency doesn't really isn't really taken into account when you're a children of the light.
Yeah, I guess so. I think it's one of those little like ecology things that we always love from the old stuff, but sometimes they don't add up to a whole lot. Here's one I love. The telepathy that these creatures has takes the form of, and I quote, a discordant psychic inferno.
Holy shit.
And should they actually speak aloud, it sounds like their voice is worn and scraping. So communication sounds awful.
Yeah.
Here's another one of your favorites. Part of the creation of Shining Child involves quintessence. And it adheres to the brightest sparks of energy and light from the demiplane creation process. So
I'm actually not sure what that means, so we can just blow by that.
I'm not sure either. And I don't care too much. A demiplane could spawn anywhere from 0 to scores of them. Oh, this is a good one. So I knew I had to know from this. Scores of them. It actually took me a little while to figure out what a score was. And a score is a flavorful word for 20s or so. So I just love the flowery phrasing of this. Anywhere from 0 to 20s of them. Like, who measures in 20s? I guess it's no dumber than like baker's dozens worth, but or just dozens in general.
Yeah. There was a reason for dozens. I don't remember what it is. I mean, there's obviously a reason for a baker's dozen. That makes all the sense in the world.
To explain.
So they would sell their products in a dozen, but they would need to make 13 so they could eat one to taste it to make sure it was good.
Oh, okay. All right.
So that's where the term baker's dozen comes from. Score is pretty archaic. I think score is an old military term, but I'm the only reason I even kind of am familiar with that word is an old Lincoln speech that he did that obviously I don't know, not being a good person or an American. Sorry, a United Stateser. I refuse to call them Americans. You don't get the whole continent.
United Stateser.
Well, I'm an American. I'm from North America. You know. Like, no, I don't care if it rolls off the tongue. They were the idiots who decided to commandeer the whole continent.
As the only way you could possibly, as a Canadian, possibly want to call yourself an American is just through pure pedantry, not by reputation.
Let it never be said that I'm not a petty man.
This is known. This is known. Oh God!
No matter of record now. Okay.
Let's talk about this creature again. I'm crying now. They're sometimes spawned in amounts of 20s, apparently, and their birth, as it is in air quotes, is described as unjust in both editions of the game and traumatic. And nothing describes why it is either of these, perhaps, but it is used to explain their violent spite towards everything. As a creature of the astral plane, they do not eat, sleep, and possibly do not even die. They're also said to be unaffected by gravity, which is not reflected in the stat block below. But that's a thing, I guess. And they do not leave. That's
a really interesting choice to just not reflect mechanically.
Yeah, again, this is a 1E bit of information. I'm not 100% sure if it reflects in the 1E stat block off the top of my head, but maybe we can quickly skim that. Here's a cool one that I like. They do not leave a physical body behind when they die. Instead, they explode with light and leave a shadow-like after image on a nearby surface. And this burn on whatever surface always seems brighter than its surroundings, even in daylight.
That's really cool. I really like that.
Yeah, it's kind of a mind-bendy thing. You know, oh, they disappear and leave a shadow behind, but the shadow is brighter than the light around it. You're like, what? that hurts my brain and my eyes.
Right. I think silhouette might be a better word.
Probably, yeah.
But I get what they're going for. I think that's really cool. In my head, do you remember like the 1990s holographic like trading cards and stuff like that?
Oh yeah.
Like the background to some of our Stemming the Tide stickers, like that kind of.
Yeah.
That's what I'm picturing. Behind is like a silhouette that behind. Of them. Okay. Yeah, leaving that behind.
This pearlescent shadow.
yeah. Like old 90s comic covers or holographic Pokemon cards.
Yeah, I'm into it. Lucky for you, we have a little bit more on Thessalonian stuff. On Galarian, they were actually known as Shining Children of Thassalon. And they were discovered accidentally via teleportation research. What a happy mistake. And they refer to themselves collectively as the Shining One rather than using a plural. And they did ally themselves with Thessalonian wizards and allowed themselves to be summoned. It's not clear why the Thessalonians were an exception to this willingness, but they did hold... or they did not hold any other people that we know of in high regard, just the Thessalonians. It's probably due to their one, vast knowledge, and two, penchant to do awful things in pursuit of knowledge. That's French listeners. And even
I'm
still,
with the Thessalonians, not with that being French.
Even still, the Shining Children actually followed orders. But only if they were allowed to torment sentient beings in return. And
through this, they were used to guard artifacts, sometimes lead armies, and educate scholars on alien truths, etc.
Can you imagine being like an old Thessalonian wizard where this being comes to you and they'll kind of just do whatever you want them to do as long as they get to torture shit? But you, as an old Thessalonian wizard, we're going to have to do that work anyway. So not only do you get this guardian of a tomb, you get somebody to do your dirty work for you, and that's their payment. Like, that's amazing. That is a great deal. No wonder they love the Thessalonians. They got everything. Everybody in that deal got everything they ever could have wanted.
There's a slovenly rune lord that comes to mind.
Yeah.
There are some alternate origin stories too, or theories, I should say. And the first thing it was described as the number of theories basically matches the number of scholars, meaning absolutely no one agrees. And one of these theories is a highly advanced race that shed their physical forms to become beings of pure light. And then there is the celestials from a utopian future who see the present people of Galarian as horrifically evil. I don't really, it's fine. I don't really see that in their motives, but okay. There's a possibility they come from what is referred to as the edge of reality, whatever that means. And my personal favorite is they are projections from a vast sentient star whose dying agony sends psychic ripples through time and space.
Yeah, I mean, every one of those makes at least a modicum of sense to me. Obviously, I don't agree with a lot of those, and nor should I. I don't live in Galarian. I don't have to have the conceit that these are things.
At the end of the day, these are just like little theories from whatever scholars about the origins within that setting. We know they get shorn off from spontaneously combusting demiplanes,
right? But
just go with that.
I mean, as like putting myself in the shoes of somebody from that setting, knowing the world the way I know that world, none of these seem particularly far-fetched.
No, certainly not. Yeah.
When you put it in the context of some dude once got drunk and accidentally became a god, these are kind of just fine. Like, they're not that far-fetched.
Yeah, exactly. Too good. It's like the test of the Starstone, like, came in on its day off for Caden Killian. Right. This just couldn't be fucked today.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Called out sick.
Yeah. They sent a temp in. That's ye old lore for the Shining Child, for better or for worse, and for all of its little weird missing pieces and assumed pieces and contradicting pieces and all that.
Well, let's dip into the IRL lore.
None.
And then based on your notes, we can just dip right into the mechanics.
God, I love splash screens. I couldn't find
anybody
anything.
who looks at our timestamp is going to see that in like 4 seconds. What the fuck?
What? Yeah. I couldn't find any IRL stuff related to this thing. It is purely a work of fiction build. Although I guess that your comparison to Frankenstein's kind of a cool little pop culture reference to its sort of.
Yeah, I also feel like there's probably something from the X-Files that I'm glossing over here, but I'm not as familiar with the X-Files as I'd like to be. But everything we've talked about sounds familiar, like a being made of light, or at least a husk powered by some sort of light, which I guess is a creature we have coming up very shortly. But,
nice.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Okay, well, let's talk about the mechanics. This is a level 12 creature.
Okay. That seems high.
Yeah, it's powerful. Imagine being born at level 12. Just here I am. The AC of 33, HP 215. It is a medium-sized creature. Current alignment is chaotic evil, and it simply just has the astral trait. Astral, just basically meaning that it's from the astral plane and can survive the basic environments of said plane.
I'm still kind of confused why they don't have the aberration trait as well, because I feel like they're probably. I mean, I guess they're not by definition outsiders, right? Because they're from a particular plane. They're not from like an unknown plane, or aberrations from an unknown place. Is that what it is?
Yeah. So I mean, I think the definition of aberration for us is like what we've kind of run with, assuming through 5e for so long, is maybe the same or maybe not in 2e. But I just look at the trait for aberrations is creatures that from beyond the planes or corruptions of the natural order. So in 2e, that to me says like what we interpreted as monstrosities,
Right.
as well as they're kind of in together there.
Okay.
So something alien or unnatural or a corruption of nature, so on and so forth. So
okay.
Yeah. So I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but these aren't like born on a different system on a different planet. They aren't born in a eldritch demiplane. They are born from this like physical, instance that happens in the metaphysics of the setting. So they are very separate from things. I don't think there's many creatures with the astral trait like alone. So it's a very small number anyway.
Yeah, it looks like there's only 10 with the monsters with the astral trait, including the Shining Child. One of them is awesome. Number. The Ouroboros has the astral trait. I did not realize that was a creature. That's going to be coming up way sooner. Now that I know that's in here.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, that's a monstrously large creature too. It's like it's huge and very, very high level. But yeah.
Oh, and the art's really cool. So that'll come down the pipe soon. That's really neat. Probably early 2024. I'll tackle that one.
Sweet. So with the astral trait, it is an occultism check to identify, starting at 30 with the usual unspecific and specific lore reductions. Perception at 23 for this creature. It does it at a speed of 30, but it's a fly speed of 50. So that thing be floating around. That's the closest I think we're getting to its anti-gravity approach. But again, it doesn't specify anything in the stat block about how it doesn't have to do maneuver and flight checks or anything.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that, because that would make a lot of sense to me. Actually, is that it has a fly speed, but it just doesn't have to do it doesn't have to spend an action to hover or spend an action to do whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
So it speaks Aklo with a telepathy of 120 feet. And has dark vision.
And yet it's not an aberration. Aklo, the language of shit we can't classify.
Well, it's probably more yeah, basically. It's probably more likely to encounter creatures with Aklo, and maybe first as opposed to somewhere else. That would be my guess. So maybe that's where they pick it up quickly.
Yeah. I'm kind of surprised Thessalonian isn't on here, just because they're, in my mind, they're kind of like a hive mind. But
sure,
I guess you could just template that on for specific beings.
Right. Well, I can say I don't think they really are a hive mind. They do have a telepathic connection to each other, or at least the siblings of the same demiplane. But I wouldn't call them a hive mind. I don't think they collectively think as a group.
Okay.
Like kind of that being said, yeah, I don't. If you did encounter one in, the Galarian universe that's been bound to a site by Thessalonians, absolutely give it Thessalonian. Give it what you can give anything a language, right? And we've advocated for that many times. Give anything a language as long as if it fits the scenario. Just hand it over.
Especially local dialects. I don't feel like they're used enough in any RPG. Pathfinder has done a really great job of fleshing them out. Assyriani, Taldan, Nexian, Chilaxian, like all that stuff. But
they do tend not
PCs
to
take them.
Yeah, they do tend not to plug those languages onto character sheets or creature stat blocks, though, because they don't want you to lock in that creature is only in that area, right? So they kind of play a little fast and loose with that, unless like the stat block is like a Chilaxian assassin, then it probably knows Chilaxian, right? But in any case, ability modifiers are as such: strength 2, dex 5, con 6, intelligence 2, wisdom 5, charisma 7. I thought the intelligence being at 2 was kind of oddly low.
And the
Given their
charisma
obsession
at
with
7 seems crazy high for.
yeah.
Let me remind you, listeners of the video, that look like this.
Yeah. So, but I mean, they must be able to talk their way into torturing sentient creatures in exchange for knowledge. So there's that.
I guess, yeah. I mean, I figured we'd just give them a boost to diplomacy, but maybe they have that too. Let's check the skills here.
They do indeed. In fact, deception,
Okay.
diplomacy, and intimidation all get a boost. 21 for intimidation, diplomacy, deceptions get a little extra at 23. And they also have bonuses in Arcana and Occultism, probably to best reflect their knowledge, as it were, that they have sought out and collected over who knows how long. And as far as defenses go, Fortitude's their highest at 22, and then they have an even keel on Reflex and Will at 19. And then they are immune to the blinded condition, to the dazzled condition, and to fire. But that's all the
all that makes sense. They don't
numbers
really
out of the way.
see with their eyes, so
Yeah. They can punch. They like to punch. Well, I shouldn't say they like to punch, but they can punch, and they punch with a plus 25. And
these
that
clawed
is
creatures punch.
somehow I knew you were going to say that. They
wonder
have a fist
how.
attack. It does 3d4 plus 5 plus 4d6 fire plus 2d4 persistent fire.
Jesus Christ.
So
That added
that's,
up fast.
yeah, that's compounding pretty quick.
9d4 damage plus 5. Jesus.
They are, of course, agile, finesse, and magical for this attack as well. So your map is reduced a bit for that one. They do have a ranged attack as well called Fire Ray, which you can imagine is probably shooting out of its mouth and or eye holes. 100-foot range, also 25 to hit. 3d10 plus 3d10 plus 3 fire plus 2d10 positive if the target is undead. Not quite sure where that comes from. And
I wonder if that's an astral thing.
Yeah, I was thinking that, and then maybe that's just a general property of like intense light, and undead just can't not be hurt by it or something. I don't know.
Right. It's like a holdover from Radiant.
Exactly. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Okay. So I wonder if this was just like a like palette swapped from 1E to be fire and positive instead of just all Radiant from 1E.
Yeah. Something along those lines, I'm sure. They do have a passive called Radiance Dependence, in which the Shining Child is flat-footed if they are in an area of darkness. So that's a pretty significant weakness, I guess, or downside. However,
right. Don't these things just fucking glow?
Yeah, well, that's just it, right? It's something you could take advantage of. However, here's what you have to overcome. They have an aura called Blinding Aura. It does have
there it is.
It does have the incapacitation trait, which is worth noting because of how brutal it can be. It's a 60-foot range, sheds bright light, so they good in darkness as long as it's going. And a creature that starts its turn in the aura must attempt DC 29 Fortitude save. If they succeed, they're temporarily immune for 24 hours. If they fail, they're blinded for 1 minute. If they critically fail, they're permanently blinded, just for standing near them. So that's dangerous. And then to add to that,
wow,
to add to that, if they enter or begin their turn in an area of magical darkness, they can use a reaction called Overwhelming Light. And they can attempt to counteract the magical darkness as if they were counteracting with a 7th level spell. So they can just snuff it out as a reaction.
Wow. Yeah. 7th level counteract to magical darkness. That's crazy. As just a fucking reaction. Who's casting darkness at 7th level? Or 8th level, I guess. Holy shit.
I mean, you kind of have to if you're going to want to try and fight this creature. Even at level 12, it might be level 12. If you have a level 8 darkness and you're trying to cast that shit or something. But like, this thing could blind you. It doesn't matter if you're level 20 or something. You know, if you roll poorly enough, it can really mess your day up.
Wow. That's vicious.
And then they've got some sweet spell casting to just keep adding to that pile. They have the cantrip light at 6th level, Level 2
Okay.
illusory object they can cast, which kind of coincides with their, the light allows them to create illusory images. That was in the lore.
Yep.
They can cast Dimension Door at will, self only, at level 4. At level 5, they can cast it as well. They also have something called False Vision and Hallucinatory Terrain.
I am not familiar with false vision at all.
Yeah, let's take a quick boo here. I forgot to link it in my notes because I'm but here it is. False Vision.
100-foot burst. Cast time is 10 minutes though.
10 minutes, yeah. So, oh yeah, okay, I remember reading this now. Yeah, so it's a 100-foot burst, does take 10 minutes to cast, and it lasts until the next time you make your daily preparations. So you can create a false image that fools any attempt to scry on an area. Any scrying spell sees, hears, smells, and otherwise detects whatever you wish within the area rather than what is actually in the area. So if you're trying to like kind of look in on, say, these ruins or a secret, library that this creature is in, you're scrying in and trying to get an idea what's ahead of you. They can basically just have something set up that shows you a false image, and you probably don't know that you've seen a false image. So you can prepare, not accordingly as a result. Not the way you would hope. Yeah. Hallucinatory terrain's really cool too. It's got a range of 500 feet, and it's a 50-foot burst, and also goes until the end of until you make your next daily preparations. You basically create an illusion that causes natural terrain to look, sound, feel, and smell like something different. And at 5th level, which I believe they're casting it at, you can also disguise structures and create illusory structures within the area. So you could just, people looking in advance, trying to figure out what the hell to do, preparing, can't, they come in prepared wrong, and then when they get there, they're not even seeing the terrain correctly, and seeing structures that aren't there, hiding structures that are there. Like, that's a super mind bending before you even get to this creature. They're just like morphing the whole terrain around them. At least it appears that way.
Yeah, 5th level misdirection. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
To add to that too, wall of force, so they could just block your way even though you can't see that the way is blocked.
Yep.
Classic. Dispel magic, of course, to try and give them one more trump card against any darkness and whatever other effect. Vibrant pattern is a cool one. 10-foot burst, 120-foot range. Can be sustained up to a minute, and you create a pattern of lights that pulses with intensity. And you basically dazzle creatures with this like sort of crazy pattern. So if you succeed, you're unaffected. If you fail, you're blinded by the pattern. If you exit the pattern, you can attempt a new save to recover from the blinded condition. So this is assuming you succeeded on the blinding aura or whatever. This is the next attempt to blind you again. Critical failure, blinded for 1 minute.
Wow.
Yeah.
This also has the incapacitation trait, which is important.
Yes,
but
yeah,
that's
very important.
That's still crazy.
Yeah.
Just blind when you're in this weird square.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then at 7th level, so those are 6th level options. At 7th level, they have something called spell turning. So it's like basically an abjuration spell that lasts for an hour. And you can reflect spells back at the caster, basically. So if you are targeted by a spell, you can spend a reaction to attempt to reflect it. So use the counteract rules on the spell. And if the spell is successfully counteracted, the effect is turned back against the caster. And whether or not the counteract attempt is successful, spell turning then ends. But if spell turning reflects a spell back at a caster who is also under the effects of spell turning, the spell turning can attempt to reflect their own spell back at you again. Such a crazy spell. And if you do that, if it goes down that road, you automatically succeed the counteract check. So if this thing casts a spell at you and you spell turn it back at it, and it can spell turn it back at you the second time and automatically succeed.
Jesus.
Which is something like you're not going to see very often, but it's really, really cool.
Yeah, just the spell equivalent of nope.
Yeah, basically.
Jesus. That's like
just
5e legendary actions powerful.
Yeah, seriously. the right circumstances, it's gonna be a beautiful moment. To give it one last little last ditch stand effort here, it also has the spell at level 7, Sunburst. So powerful globe of searing light explodes in a 60-foot burst, 8d10 fire damage to all creatures, plus 8d10 additional positive to undead. And it's a reflex save, but it's not basic. Critical success unaffected, success, half damage, failure, full damage, critical failure, full damage, and blinded permanently.
That's why it's not basic, because it becomes permanently blind. Holy shit.
And of course, if the globe overlaps any magical darkness.
No, that's pretty great. And there's one last effect on that. If it overlaps an area of magical darkness, it attempts to counteract. Holy shit. Wow. That's one hell of a spell list. I think we may have lost Freeman here, listeners. So we're just gonna take a quick break, and we'll be back as soon as we can. Okay.
Someone call Fast Along.
I think we're back.
We need troubleshooting. Today is not our day, and this episode is not our episode.
No. This is quickly becoming our latest harpies.
Yeah, really though. But yeah, I crazy spell list, eh? Like that's and that Sunburst, just no incapacitation on that blind, counteracting darkness again. It's bonkers. It's bonkers.
Yeah, that's wild.
So you kind of, I feel like you just got to go in fighting this thing. You have to know how to fight with your eyes closed. I think that's the goal. Or it's gonna take blind fight. Just get in there.
I mean, it won't hurt. Or like everybody have scent or something like that, or going with an Eidolon, or these are brutal. Let's just move into the homebrew, I guess, if that's it for the mechanics.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot there, right? Like, even within those spells, it is designed to set the PCs up for failure before they even get to an encounter. You know, you throw up the false vision, then you throw up hallucinatory terrain. You know, you throw up a bridge here, take out a bridge over here, and then at the end of the actual bridge, so if they manage to see through the illusion, you throw up a wall of force, and then directly behind the wall of force, you throw up a vibrant pattern, and just start like cue yourself up for a spell, for a sunburst, and like it is designed to never get into combat, because theoretically the entire party could be dead or incapacitated before they even see a shining child.
Seriously, I could already see that you could use this creature as something that's too high of a level for the party, and then they need the knowledge that this creature is guarding, and then the creature's like, well, if you go do this horrible thing, maybe I'll share it with you. And then the characters go off, and maybe they do the horrible thing, maybe they don't, maybe they're good guys, and they all come back when they're a higher level, and they've already experienced all of these things. They've gone through the ruin, they've experienced these things. Like, okay, we already know what to expect, but now we're the appropriate level, and we prepared accordingly. And you can have like a whole adventure sort of section to that, where it's like part of the point is to like not only acquire the knowledge, but also figure out how to counteract these things, so that when you do finally get back there at level 12 or what have you, you're prepared. Still dangerous, but maybe you're prepared.
So dangerous. Holy
so dangerous. So really fun creature. I think I would totally add an explosion effect on its death, just to really just compound everything, because that's was described in the lore. I think that would be really cool.
I like the idea of like a glitter dust or like an ash cloud upon death.
Right, that'd be cool. That would definitely be cool. Glitter dust seems neat. I'm also just okay with more fire damage,
right?
Possibly
which
blind.
I think ash cloud does.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
Yeah, it essentially like it creates like this fog in a 20-foot burst, lasts for 1 minute, and it's difficult to breathe. So if you start your turn within the fog, you take 2d4 fire damage as you inhale. But there is a fortitude save, so it's critical unaffected. Success is half damage. Failure is full damage and dazzled for 1 round. Critical failure is double damage and blinded for 1 round. So
Crazy.
And it's only a 2nd level spell, so it's not like crazy powerful, but it's pretty thin.
Still neat though. Yeah. I
thematic,
definitely use that as an inspiration. I know that Paizo doesn't like put the spells as they are as death effects. But you can definitely see parallels and inspirations of them. And then by all means, if you kind of want to just cookie cutter it and put it in, I think it's probably fine. But I would generally try to follow their lead and be like, okay, take Ash Cloud, but like adjust it just a little bit, or remove one of the layers of the degree of success or something like that, and just use it to create something a little more unique to this creature.
Yeah, I take off the 1 minute duration probably, and just like as a reaction it happens, and then it's just a 20-foot burst from the creature, and if you're in that burst, you got to make the save. Yeah,
that'd be cool. But yeah, that's probably the only thing I would really add. To be honest, I'm still a little bit confused about the unaffected by gravity thing. But then again, I'm also confused by the prehensile tail. And neither of them really grab me to make me want to do anything with them. So I'm kind of like, whatever. I think just the death effects are fun. I always love those. Okay. It's nothing quite like surprising the players with a downside to their victory.
Even as a player, I love death effects. I love it so much.
Yeah. Especially if you fight a creature and it's got a death effect, and then you go fight another one of them. You're like, oh, okay, this changes how I'm gonna fight this thing. It changes how I'm gonna fight it, because I have to like adjust, and then but you're not necessarily always ready to adjust, and you're like the terrain doesn't allow it, and it's all over the place.
Fantastic.
Do you have anything you would change or add to this?
No, I mean, I like the Ash Cloud as a death effect. I'd probably change the fist to claws, because the art just makes me want it to be slashing.
Sure. Yeah.
Other than that, no, I think these creatures are deadly enough. I don't really feel like they need my help. I might lower the HP a little, actually. 215 and 33 AC seems high for 12th level. Mm-hmm. But that's also because I don't want my party to get bogged down in melee or in combat with these creatures. In my mind, these creatures are a setup, and you spend all your spells to set them up. So it sucks to get to them, but once you get to them, it's not terrible in melee.
Okay.
Especially with the blinding aura, like it being a 60-foot aura, that's huge, and a DC 29 for its save.
That's the whole room. Always.
Yeah. So I might even cut the HP in half, depending on the party builds. Like if you got a bunch of blasters who can stay outside that 60-foot range, that changes things.
Yeah.
But if you don't have anybody who can cast magical darkness, then I mean 8th level, like I don't think anybody at 12th level is going to be casting 8th level spells.
Well, we got to consider something here though, is that we still have more experience in 5e, and I think it seems like a lot of HP compared to 5e. Running our Stemming the Tide right now, and we're in the recordings we're getting closer and closer to level 10-ish or level 9-ish. I can tell you right now, some of those creatures have more than half of that HP at those levels, and you guys ripped through them. So 215 might seem high, but I feel like it's maybe not. I feel like it's easy to underestimate how much higher the damage output of the PCs are in 2e compared to 5e.
Right.
That output
I totally get that.
Going to impact that HP much harder and faster than what we're used to.
I want these creatures to be like 1-round creatures, though. Like to me, these don't seem fun to run in combat. They seem fun to run in the build-up. And then with the Ash Cloud, like I would want this to be it sucks to get there. You're gonna get hurt. Things are gonna go wrong. You're gonna be stressed. But when you get there,
so you want them to be more. They're like a gauntlet.
Yeah.
You got to go through hell and back
session.
just to get there, and then when you get there, you take them down.
Yeah, and I would actually build it pretty clearly, pretty close to like the Holy Grail scene in Last Crusade.
Oh.
You know, you got to do a bunch of these trials and tribulations, but all of the trials and tribulations are based around their spell list and what they've done. You know, the hallucinatory terrain, the vibrant pattern. And then you get there.
Sorry,
and
you said the Holy Grail
of...
scene, and I went straight to Monty Python, and I was like, "What scene? Is he going for the rabbit?"
Yeah, make sure you bring your cleric and their hand grenades.
Yeah,
the old cleric alchemist dip.
And I did feast on the fruit bats. I had breakfast cereals.
No, I'm thinking more like the penitent man shall pass. You know, Sean Connery's dying in the front room.
Yeah.
And Harrison Ford has to make his way through those three trials. And I think this could be an interesting facsimile for at least a scenario like that, you know.
Okay. All right.
And the false vision means you can't, you know, you can't really look in and see what's going on. And then, you know, I might throw something in the anteroom after that. You know, these are a dragon really, you know, guarding some sort of vast treasure or wealth of knowledge. But I don't want these creatures to be what they're hung up on. I want there to be something else, something more fun and more interesting for me to play.
If there was an equivalent for the Nagpa in 2e, or a way to convert that in a way, I would almost make these creatures like sort of not soldiers, but like, you know, connected to the Nagpa in that respect. I think that's the route I would take. Is these things would be, you know, connected to them, is kind of serving them, but also serving their own designs of it. Because they give me that vibe, that constantly searching for knowledge to like survive and to have these incredibly far-reaching plans that are not easy to understand. Like they give me that similar vibe, and I would make them same but different and connect them in some way.
Yeah, I like that a lot. My first instinct is like Guardians of a Phylactery or something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
So you've got like the idea is that you get through
some
this
Thessalonian lich.
Yeah, you get through this gauntlet to make the Thessalonian lich killable. Like that's the point of this. Yeah. And then you know you got to go find the lich and actually kill them or something like that. But this is
I'm into it.
You know,
yeah.
I think that could be kind of interesting.
Well, there's some great ideas. Those are some great ideas there. I can't do words. Words are not my friend. And in the spirit of sharing some love, I actually haven't really watched this video in depth, but there is a video that was released on January 2020 on the YouTube channel Dungeon Dad, where they converted this creature into a 5th edition creature, and I believe they used the 1E version to like for the conversion. But yeah, it's there is technically a homebrew 5th edition version out there. So if people are still listening but still playing 5e, that option is out there. So you'll see a link to that in the description.
That's great. I love when we hype up other creators. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And if you listeners love it, you can find us over on patreon.com/unchartednorth, where a few dollars a month goes a long way to help us make these shows. $5 a month will get you a handwritten thank you letter and a theme button. I just mailed out a few of those recently. $10 a month, you can suggest a creature, like next week's episode is a Patreon request, which is great. If you're interested in any of our cool merch, you like our logos, you can find that over at unchartednorth.com/shop. That'll bring you directly to our Teespring. You can hit us up on any of the socials located below or at Uncharted No on all the same platforms. If you're an audio listener, please rate and review on your platform of choice. That helps us get seen and other people find us. If you're on YouTube, hit the subscribe and the bell if you feel like it to get notified when new episodes go live. They come out every other Thursday. If you're just listening to this, you can see the video version on youtube.com/encounterpod. And if it comes up, tell a friend. Tell a stranger on the bus. Word of mouth is by far the best marketing for a little show like ours, and it really does help when y'all spread the word.
For sure. And if you want to get a little more involved too, just with us, our Discord is our public Discord's small, but we we have a little active community there, and they're always either giving us ideas on these creatures that we release, or they're correcting us on our knowledge and our mechanics. So if you have something to say, by all means, comment in the YouTube section. But like, hit up the Discord. You can talk directly to us, and we'll either bow to your prowess, or just keep arguing for the sake of it. It's fun either way.
Yeah, we have a beautiful Discord community. They're great over there.
They're super fun.
And that is unchartednorth.com/discord. That will just get you an invite directly into it. So we hope you decide to join us on one or all of those platforms. And if you liked it, we'll be back again in 2 weeks with a red hot creature, hot off the presses.
Ooh. Oh, it's toasty warm.
Yes, correct. More fire.
All right, see you then.
Until next time, creatures, thanks, as always, for listening to Encounter This.